following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Viewpoint on 96.3 FM WLCN. And folks, our phone line, or phone number, I should say, if you want to call in, is 217-648-5510. Today, our special guest is Kelli Jo Tople from Heart and Flower in Lincoln. And welcome on this cold Wednesday morning to the Radio Ranch. So anyway, I'm sure some people are on Facebook, some aren't. Some people do watch Channel 17 News, and some don't. But you're kind of all over the place right now, and becoming a household name, I guess you could say. So, but welcome. So.
Thank you.
Heart and Flower. What is Heart and Flower?
So currently, right now, we are a cottage baker. We operate out of our home. My daughter Kennedy, she's 19. She's nonverbal. She's autistic. We've kind of created this for something for her to do once she ages out of school. But right now we're just kind of doing vendor events and farmers markets and kind of getting our recipes and everything down and teaching Kennedy some skills and hoping to eventually get that out into a brick and mortar and help some other individuals with disabilities and stuff like that.
Wonderful. Well, first, I guess we should say you're a transplant to Logan County, aren't you?
I am.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your background, your history.
Well, I grew up in Plainfield, Illinois, but I went to high school, and then my adult life lived in Chatham, Illinois. That's kind of where Kennedy went to school and stuff. And then we just came here, and I have to say that coming to Lincoln has really opened my eyes to the sense of community, because we have felt like we've been welcomed open arms. Like, we were really apprehensive about moving, especially with a kid with special needs, and kind of her at this age going from somewhere where she's grown up with the kids that she's been around. We were kind of afraid that we would, not be seen in a positive light, or, not be accepted as well. And it's been the complete opposite of what we've expected.
Wonderful.
We've been accepted open arms, and if we go out, somebody's always around to be like, oh, hi, Kennedy, or something like that. So and just the support that we've gotten from what we're trying to do and our mission, and the people have reached out or come out to our vendors events from local communities, and who also have people, loved ones, or their caregivers of somebody with disabilities coming out. So it's been the word community has really meant something here in Lincoln when we've come here.
So have you always been in baking and in cooking, I guess you can say, or did it just evolve with Kennedy, your love finding something to do with
I've
her?
always loved to bake. not cook. I don't want to cook. I like to bake, but not cook. But I grew up with my great grandma. We called her Granny, but she baked all the time, and she was the orneriest lady ever. So her love language was like, that's how you knew she liked you, like if she baked for you. So growing up, I never really like looked at her any different, but as I got older, like she did have polio in her wrist. So she was also disabled, but like she did everything. Like I never looked at her as disabled as a kid because she did it all. So I always liked baking, and it always was like my love language. It turned into my love language. I went to school and did some classes in Lincoln Land for culinary and stuff like that. And probably 2020, of course, during quarantine, it really like my love for that grew. I worked at a couple bakeries and stuff like that, and with Kennedy getting ready to age out, it's like, well, what can we do? What can we do together? You know, what's something that we can create? And so then, you know, she likes, very much so, like structures and, you know, following rules, and baking is kind of that for her, because, you know, it's a science and it's follow the recipe. So it's something that she can follow and gives her kind of some confidence and some independence. So, and of course, I mean, who doesn't like the reward of getting to eat it afterwards? So she's really enjoying that. So yeah, so we just kind of went from there and took my love and her need for kind of that structure and that routine. And
do you think it's I don't want to say advance, but helped her even more so of an individual, you know, baking?
I think it's definitely given her more confidence in the kitchen. Even if I'm not baking and I'm cooking different, like dinner, she'll come in and she wants to see, like, oh, what are you doing? Can I get involved in that? So it's definitely piqued her interest more than just, okay, mom's in the kitchen, mom's cooking. So like, even just getting her interested in that life skill, like that is a life skill that she's going to need regardless, you know. So getting her interested in, oh, I can make this, and me like, hey, like we can make something else besides this. Like, let's learn to make mac and cheese, or, you know, and how to safely do that. And, you know, so it's improved her confidence, and it's also helped us kind of reduce some of our behaviors at home, because she's one that likes to keep busy, and having that routine when we get home of just having something else to do, like a chore or something like that, really helps keep her busy and keep her active. So,
you know, incorporating life skills and life tools.
Yes.
It does then.
Yeah. And I mean, even it's incorporating occupational skills and, you know, all sorts of things. So it's definitely been a help tremendously for her.
That's neat.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been, so obviously since 2020 you've been doing this, and kind of evolved slowly? And
so she started in 2020. We worked from home, and we started, we did like a little like bake sale type thing, and she helped even with just packaging and stuff like that. Just those fine motor skills of packaging things and stamping things and stuff like that. So we've been doing it, and, you know, it's just, again, just getting her in the habit of trying to do something that can give her the skills for her to find a job, find something, you know. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of jobs out there that are willing to accept people with disabilities, and I think that's something that, like, that's our main goal at Heart and Flower, is kind of getting rid of that stigma and, you know, showing that these people might be disabled, but in the same sentence, they are going to be your most loyal, you know, employer or employees, and they're your most dependable. Then once you teach them, you're there for, they're good. They are going to do what you need them to do, and they're not going to waver, you know. So that's kind of the most, I think, important thing with Heart and Flowers. We want to end that stigma of these people they're able. We might just have to take a little bit more time to adapt their learning, or
Patience.
something like that. But
people need to have patience.
they do. They need to have patience, and sometimes we need a little bit of adaptability to how they're learning. But they're able.
Mm-hmm.
They're able, and everybody wants a purpose in life, whether you're able-bodied or not able-bodied, and it's not just autism. I have friends who have kids who have CP and cerebral palsy and stuff like that, and they can't find jobs because they can't. The buildings don't have access for them, or there's not a restroom that they can use because it's not handicap accessible. Like, these are all issues that they deserve to have a job. They deserve something that's going to fulfill them, but there's barriers, and I think we need to
break down those barriers.
We do. We need to break down those barriers and open our eyes to them, because if you don't live the life, you don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just need to bring it to the attention of people so that they can see it, and even to the attention of other employers so that they can see, oh, well, maybe there is some work here that we could hire somebody a couple of hours to do, whether it be sorting through mail or something like that, because how much is that going to bring to somebody's life to be able to get out of their home and do something that fulfills them and they feel like they're giving back?
So going from, and I'm not picking on Logan County, but going from Chatham and then to here, do you see that we as a county or in a community, are we lacking some of those skills, those jobs, those opportunities for people with disabilities rather than down there, or not? Or is it just about in a whole here in Central Illinois? It's just kind of general. Okay.
It's a whole. A lot of the time, I feel like you'd see people with disabilities working at like Goodwill and stuff like that, which is fine, except for the fact that you get into the situation where they were able to pay them a not fair wage, right. and then you have to navigate that. Where is it fair for us to pay them less because they're disabled, and which that's a whole nother story,
Mm-hmm.
But there's just not a lot of employers that take that chance or take that risk, and then there's some people would need an aide or an assistant, and then you have to think of, how are we going to pay for that assistant? Is the employer going to have to pay for that assistant? Does the state pay for that assistant? Does the family pay for that assistant? So there's a lot that goes into it, and I feel like the system's kind of broke itself, and we need to figure it out, really, because everybody can benefit from it.
Right.
So
that is neat. Has many families in the area here in Logan County said, this is wonderful what you're doing?
Oh, yeah.
They're running into it. What issues are they running into?
They're kind of running into the same issues that we are, or they're getting ready for the kids to age out, and we don't know what to do. Like, we don't know what our kids are going to do. They've spent the last 20 years in school, 8 to 3, and now there's going to be no structure. Like, what do we do then? So a lot of families are facing that, and there are opportunities in like Bloomington area and maybe Springfield area, but in Logan we are kind of smaller, so there's not really a lot of day programs or stuff like that for them to do. So that's kind of the challenge that we're running into with that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, and we come back with Kelli Jo from Heart and Flower and discuss everything else and how we can combat maybe and hopefully, move forward and what we can do within our community. But we'll return in just a couple of minutes.
This is Corporal Brian Clements with the Lincoln Police Department. This week, Lincoln Logan County Crime Stoppers is seeking information in reference to 2 burglaries in Lincoln that have occurred recently. A building at 523 North Elm Street was burglarized during the February 1st weekend. Another building at 411 North Chicago Street was burglarized on the weekend of February 3rd. Multiple expensive tools were taken from both locations. If you have any information on this crime, please contact the Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-732-3000 or the Lincoln Police Department at 217-732-2151. Tips leading to an arrest could receive a cash reward up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers only wants your information and not your name.
The Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week is brought to you by Me Realty, supporting a thriving community safe for families through support of the Crime Stoppers program. Me Realty, 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Hi, welcome back to 96.3 WLCN. Again, folks, if you have any questions, kudos, concerns, you're scratching your head going, wow, we need some help. We need to do some things. If you got any ideas even, feel free to call in 217-648-5510. We have Kelli Jo here from Heart and Flower. And so moving forward, I know, what would you like to do? You want to work with somewhere to have like a stationary commercial kitchen somewhere within Lincoln, you think?
Yes, we definitely want to be within Lincoln. We'd like to eventually have a brick and mortar building that is handicap accessible with a handicap accessible kitchen, somewhere where we can do workshops, where we can run a cafe type of thing and employ people with disabilities. So, and even work with some of the schools around here and do kind of some workshops and stuff for them. That's kind of our goal, is to get the brick and mortar and do employment opportunities for them. And I mean, we've had a lot of Lincoln reach out and say, hey, I'd love to volunteer, let us know when you get up and running. I'd love to volunteer. So that's where we want to be. We want to have a bakery type cafe where we can employ these individuals and offer workshops and life skill classes and stuff like that for these individuals.
That's wonderful. And it's not just about, you don't want them in there baking. None of them does. Everyone doesn't have to be a baker, I guess what I'm saying.
No.
So, like you said, the life skills, you touched on
even
it, like
just
packaging.
cleaning tables and learning how to restock things, and even dishes and stuff like that. I mean, all these things transfer over into everyday life. So, I mean, and not only that, but get us out into the community, and they get us interacting with people, which I mean, I know I've said off air, but being a caregiver of somebody with a disability, the life is very isolating, whether it be, you're always at doctor's appointments, or you're always taking care of that individual. Parents have a kid, and as a baby, they depend on you for everything. But as they get older, they get a little bit more independent. And when you have a child with disabilities, that dependency doesn't go away. So we're constantly dependent on for everything, whether they be intellectually disabled or whether they be physically disabled. I mean, I have mom friends that are literally, their children are physically disabled, and they are having to do every single task for their child, move them in the middle of the night, recover them in the middle of the night. So it's more than just giving these kids and these adults these jobs. It's more understanding, I think, and accepting this community that we are. Like, we are very isolated. We are very alone in raising a child or an individual or being a caregiver, and just recognizing that we are here and
offering a way out, I guess you can say.
Not necessarily a way out,
well, I mean,
but
like
grace.
Yeah, a break.
Give us
too.
some grace. It's so hard because people don't understand the struggles and everything like that, financially, emotionally, like the stuff your other kids go through, when you're raising somebody with disabilities. Like, everybody's affected by it. And I think now more than ever, we do need community, and we do need to be recognized that we might not be out in the community as much, and that's because we feel isolated. We feel the judgment. We feel, all the things. So some of us don't go out as much, and I feel like we need to kind of break that.
A stigma.
That stigma, and we are different. Our kids are different. They may look different. They may act different.
But it's still an individual.
We are still an individual. They still want the basic needs. The basics that everybody else does. We just want some acceptance. And
I know we talked off the air. Rural communities. We're rural. We have a smaller resource. But we have a good resource, but we need to grow on that, because if Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, those resources may be there, but like you said, you're still somewhat kind of isolated because you're your own individual community, correct?
Yeah. So I think we benefit almost being a smaller community, because I feel like getting us out here, just in like what we've done with Heart and Flower and getting us out, like getting the word out, and I feel like we've gotten the attention, and people are starting to realize and see, oh, okay, I can see now how that's different. Like, even from my post on, with social media and stuff, and me commenting on things that are our day-to-day life that people aren't realizing, because they don't live that life. That's not something they have to live. So it's just kind of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and seeing that, oh, okay, this isn't something that I thought of before, but other people are living like this. Yeah. And maybe my friend that has a kid with special needs isn't being rude and, just blowing off my plans every time that I invite them over. Maybe it's because my house isn't designed for somebody with special needs. They're not being rude and not coming out because maybe they're afraid that there's going to be judgment, or people are going to, maybe they're worried about how their kid's going to act, and then how people are going to judge them, and so it's just
getting over that stigma.
It's getting over the stigma and just allowing some grace.
Yes.
We just need some grace is what we need. And just to be recognized that we are carrying a heavy payload. A heavy payload between doctors and therapies and, managing a relationship with your spouse even while doing that, and taking care of your other kids who are involved in activities. And,
You're being pulled every which way.
You are. You really are. And just, we need community. We need a community.
What questions do you have, Lloyd?
Well, a while back you had mentioned something about how at a certain point your children age out. Are you talking about aging out of like educational resources, or
So
are there
they
other
age-
services?
So they age out of school. I believe it is now, I think they've just changed it to when they're 22, they age out of high school. So they get a little bit longer because of their disability. But after that, it's like, okay, now you're off into the world, like any other child, So they age out of school, and then it's like, okay, what do we do now? Some places there's like adult daycares, I think I've heard of some places, but they're few and far between. And, you want your kid to have a purpose.
Sure.
You want them to feel fulfilled and have something.
Yeah, and I'd heard you use the term disabled before. I'd heard other people use the term differently abled, which I think also is
Exactly.
maybe helps shatter that, or maybe
Yeah.
I don't
Change
know,
our way of
minimize
thinking,
that.
possibly.
Minimize
Yeah.
that stigma a little bit. That
Yeah.
these are still individuals with one, like you said, want a purpose and want life skills and so forth. So maybe they just go about it a little bit differently, but we're all the same.
We're all different
underneath,
too.
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
and different.
And I tell you, like my daughter, I mean, she is the only child that I have. I have 3 children. She is the only child that I have that I do not have to tell her to put her shoes away, to put her backpack away, to put anything away, because she is the only one that that is our routine. Like, she knows this is what is expected of me. Like, I don't have to tell her again. Now, my 15-year-old son, every day, put your shoes where they go in the basket. Her, never. Tell her once, that's it. That's it.
She's the golden child in my book.
She is, in that aspect, she is. Everywhere else, she gives me a run for my money. But like, when it comes to those things, it's just like she knows what's expected, and she just has to learn. Like, she is a visual person. She has some auditory processing disorder that goes with her autism. So for her, sometimes she doesn't understand when we ask her certain things. So visuals for her sometimes can be really beneficial. But I mean, how many people do you know that don't learn the same way you do? Some people, I have to see it to be able to learn it. Some people are, I have to do it, in order to learn it. We just need to bring that over and accept that these kids learn differently too, and we just need to adapt. And once you do, like I said, it's even, I mean, there's been studies, and they're the most loyal employers that you'll have. They will literally stay, and they won't leave until you literally push them out the door. Yeah. Like, they're the most dependable employers that you're going to have. Like, and they boost your morale. They bring a certain pizzazz to your environment that you can't get everywhere.
Jim, you got any questions? I'm putting Jim on the spot, folks. I don't need to, but I do.
I kind of like to get back to the food part of it. You say you don't like to cook, but you like to bake.
I love to.
Is there a certain thing, specialty item that you like to bake? That
I do. My favorite things to bake. I love to bake bagels. When I was growing up, up north, we had a bagel place that we used to go to when I was a kid. Every Sunday after church, we'd go and get bagels from this place, and they had these giant, like, gourmet bagels. So I will do things for a bagel. And so that is one thing that, like, I love to make, and that's something that I feel like I've finally gotten really good at is my bagels, and just trying like the different flavors and stuff like that with them. Like,
Well,
we've
you
gotten
brought
a
the
lot of
guys. Tell our listeners, it's over by me right now. I'm
Yeah, she's
smelling
hoarding
and
it, is
I'm
what
not.
she's
Well,
doing.
no, I'm not really hoarding it. But what did you bring?
We're working on some sweet sourdoughs. We do a lot of sourdoughs. Our bagels are sourdough too. So we worked on a double chocolate espresso sourdough last night.
It looks delicious.
So
folks.
we brought it for them to be our taste testers. So
When we get up there, yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, we do it a lot. Kennedy does not like to do the breads. I don't know if it's a tactile thing for her, but she likes to make the cookies and stuff like that. She really likes those. And she likes to eat them. So
She's a good taste tester then.
she is a good taste tester. Yeah, she likes the bread when it's cooked. She really likes the bagels. So that's how I know we've reached a good a good consistency with them. So.
What other questions do you have?
Well, the other thing I was going to ask is, with Heart and Flower, are there certain things that you are in need of? Like, if there are folks out there who, are interested in supporting your cause, or are there certain ways that, how can they do that?
So we have like a GoFundMe and stuff like that. We're trying to right now get into more of like finding a commercial kitchen. We've talked to Hope on 5th Street. We're kind of trying to see if we can go somewhere with that. But right now, I think just supporting us when we're at our vendors events. We're going to be at farmers markets and stuff like that. Finding us on Facebook, following us, sharing our journey, and just supporting us there. Sharing if you know people, that would be interested and stuff like that. I think that's good. We're just trying to build up from here, and we're taking it step by step, and just trying to build some steady foundations so that we can have something that lasts a long time and really benefit a lot of people.
And if folks are interested in maybe there's another mother of a differently abled child who's interested in sharing resources or stories or whatever it might be.
Reach out to me.
What would be the best way to contact you then?
Probably Facebook. Our Facebook page, Heart and Flower. You could reach out to me there. That would probably be the best way to reach out to me. I'm really responsive there. So yeah, and I'm always available. Even if, I've had people just come to events just to reach out and be like, I have a child that's just like yours. Can we be friends? And, so that's
The understanding, like
the
you
understand.
said.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I've made new friends, and we've can relate to people, and just having those other parents that get it and understand and are looking forward, have kids that are younger that are looking forward to being involved in it. And we've got some surrounding cities that aren't that big, like Mount Pulaski and stuff like that are looking forward to us getting something started so that they can be a part of it too.
That's
so
wonderful. So have you been contacted from other parents saying, if and when you do get the brick and mortar, to help our children in our community, our child we think would be good at, wiping off tables or helping in the kitchen, or
we've
their
gotten
skill's
so
good
many.
at this, or their skill is better at this.
Yeah,
so.
we've gotten lots and lots. We've gotten some people that have a child that's in a wheelchair, and I say child, but she's an adult that's in a wheelchair, and she loves to cook, but unfortunately most kitchen jobs are not equipped with a kitchen that can maneuver a wheelchair or something like that, and we're just hoping to give that to them.
It's something for them.
It is.
It's a business for them. It's not a business for you.
It's
our
a business for
listening.
them,
It's for
but
them.
it involves everybody.
Right.
It boosts
Morale.
everybody. And they deserve it just as much as the next person. I mean, out of all the obstacles they already have in life, them just wanting to have a job, I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It's really important that we give them that, at least.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is. I know when I called you up and was talking to you, and I said, I want you to tell your story.
Yeah.
This story needs to be told. This needs to be brought to light, to our community. And if folks are working right now, we record it. It's on our YouTube channel. We encourage people to grab it from our YouTube channel and share it. And go, oh wow, this is really needed. This is something we can help with, or this will help our family, or help our our child, our loved one. So, any other parting things you want to tell our listeners? Your Facebook page again is what if they want to reach out to you?
It's Heart and Flower Equal Needs Bakery, and needs is spelled like you need bread.
Well, that could still be either way.
But yeah, and just to accept and realize that we all have our differences, and I feel like right now in life, community is needed and most important for everybody. We all need to come back and realize how important community is, and being there for each other and helping and lifting each other up.
That's wonderful. You got anything else? No? Jim?
No, I'm good.
I think he's ready to dive into the bread that you brought up. So anyways, Well, folks, that'll do us now for Viewpoint. Thank you for tuning in. Kelly Jo, we wish you all the best.
Thank
We're
you.
here to help out any way we can here at the station. Again, folks, thank you for tuning in. The Lord, weather willing, we'll be back next week.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.